I'm the Director of the Office of Community Development and Local Government Assistance. We're going to be talking to you today about the Community Water Enrichment Fund and the Local Government Assistance Program's online portal for application submittal. We're going to do an online demonstration of how to log in and how to create an application so that you can submit your applications prior to June 3rd, which is the deadline. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So everyone should now see the Community Water Enrichment Fund Local Government Assistance Program portal. This is the login screen. So you would enter your ID here. You would have an MID. If you have not already done so, when you first log in, you would go down here where it says if you have an MID, you can reset or change your password using the WOLF password maintenance application. That's where you would establish your password for the first time when you go in, and if you need to change your password. If for some reason you have difficulty, if you get locked out of the system, you can email me at Tracy, TRACI, .Watts, WATTS, at LA.gov from the email address that you had linked to your user ID. Give me your user ID and tell me that your password is locked and you need your ID unlocked so that you can log in. If for some reason you're trying to use your security questions that you established and you're having difficulty with those, you can also request that we clear out the security questions. So, but we have to have that in writing. It has to include the user ID, and you need to tell us what you need done. And then we can forward that to our technology group and get them to make those corrections, and then we'll let you know when they're complete. So when you go, you would enter your user ID and enter your password and click login. This is what the screen looks like if you when you go in. So you can see here, we have set up the town of Sunnyside, so we can do a demonstration and show you how to use the system. You can see it lists the Local Government Assistance Program, and it also lists the Community Water Enrichment Fund here. In this case, I had already created an application for the LGAP program. It tells me the application number, the program, and the status that the application is in. This application is only created. Once you have submitted, it would say submitted there. So remember that it is not submitted unless you click save and submit and it actually comes through to us. So when you go in to check your applications, if it only says created, it has not been submitted for our review. It shows the total cost and the last action date that we had went into the application and done something. Down here, you can see where it says add CWEF application. If you had not already started an application, then this would be the link that you'll see for CWEF, and then you would also see one here for LGAP. So I'm going to show you, if you click on this, it's going to go and show you what you've done in the portal. It tells you your application type, what the current status of your application is, the name of your town, you can, or your local government. You're going to choose your population, which I'm going to go through on the CWEF side and create one from scratch. And I'm just showing you that you can go back into it once you've created it and saved and continue to work on your application later. So I'm going to go back to the home button. That takes us back to the screen where we can see the applications or create an application. And I'm going to click add CWEF application. So now I'm going to start this application from scratch. I'm going to choose my town. You see the population counts here, so you can choose the appropriate grouping for your local government. Then I'm going to choose my House district and my Senate district. If there are any other entities that are participating in the project, then I would list them here. I would provide an estimate of the number of citizens that will benefit from the proposed project. So I'm going to say 250. Is the project located on or involve publicly owned property? I'm going to say yes. Remember, and it says right below here, that grant funds cannot be used for improvements on or to private property. So make sure that you have reviewed your project, you know where you're working, that you know that you're working on public property. I'm going to go into my budget summary where we're going to complete the chart for all costs identified. So this is, again, a CWEF project. A CWEF project must involve infrastructure improvements to potable water systems. So now I'm going to have some construction costs. As a town, my limit is $35,000 for my grant request. So my construction here, it's amount requested from the program. So I'm going to put all of my costs in construction because my project is actually larger than a $35,000 project, and so I'm going to need to spread those costs out. So I'm going to put $35,000 for construction. The amount of match by the local government. So are there other funds that you as a local government are putting into the project in order to complete your project? So in this case, yes, my town of Sunnyside is putting in some additional funds in order to complete the project. So my total project cost is $70,000. So I'm going to request $35,000 from the CWEF program, but I'm also going to put in $35,000 from local funds. If you were having other funds, you can add those here, and we give you the choices of any private funds, if there are federal funds, or if there's any other type of funds here that you're going to include. You would put those amount here. If you had more than one other funding, if you had a federal type funding and a private funding, you could click add other, and you could add another line there. I'm not completing any acquisition or requesting any funds for acquisition. I don't need to conduct any acquisition in order to complete my project, so I'm not going to put any costs there. For engineering costs, remember that you can get up to 13% of your grant request for engineering if you have inspection as part of your project. So you can get 10% for basic engineering services and up to 3% for inspection services if it's needed for the project. So my total request here under my amount requested from the program is $35,000, and my local match is $35,000. I also want to point out, if you have anything to put in other project costs, you see this asterisk there, it's going to require you to put a description in the other project costs field. If you put any funds into the other project costs here and the amount requested from the program, it's going to require you to enter something in a narrative in this text box field. So my project description, I need to talk about what I'm going to do for my project. If it's water lines, how many feet, miles, etc. I'm going to be addressing. I'm going to be working on a water well. I need to talk about that. I need to talk about how the proposed project is going to improve the health, safety, and living conditions and quality of life of the community. And I'm going to put any physical address that I have for the proposed project. So in my case, I'm going to say that we are going to request funds for the rehab of our existing well located at 1310 Tucker Street in Sunnyside. And I'm going to say that completion of this project enables Sunnyside to provide clean, safe drinking water for our customers. Okay. I've entered all the information here, what I'm doing. I've talked about that I'm going to be working to have an existing water well. I've talked about what the completion of the project is going to do for our citizens, and I've given the address of the project of where it's actually going to be taking place. The next thing I'm going to do is go on to my required documentation. And I want to read this to you to bring this to your attention so that everyone is aware. The items below must be uploaded to the portal in order for the application to be submitted. So these are the items that you're going to have to upload into the portal in order to be submitted. Now, I've already completed several tasks here, and I've been working in the system. And I want to make sure that the system doesn't time out because I've been working on it for a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, and you see we have choices: save, save and submit, cancel. I want to go ahead and click save so that I know that what I've done so far is saved into the system and I'm not going to lose anything. So now you can see that this application has appeared now down here under the CWEF. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go back in, and I can see that all of the items that I've completed are still here. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. This is a resolution of support from your governing body or your governing agency. So as you know, you have to get a resolution of support from your local governing body for the application. I'm just going to add my document here, my resolution, and I'm going to click save. I'm going to scroll down, and now you can see it says view attachment, remove attachment, or change attachment. So if I needed to go back and look at that document, I could click on it and it's going to show up. If I wanted to remove it because, oh, I attached the wrong document by mistake, and I can click remove attachment, and that attachment is now gone. So as I indicated, I'm going to go back. I'm going to upload my document to each field here. Depending on how fast your internet is, we'll decide if you need to click save after each time you're uploading a document. Go ahead down, click save, so I know my document's there. The local government assurances, here where it says a blue download, if you click on that, it gives you a PDF version of the local government assurances document. You need to print this document out, have your chief elected official sign it, enter their title, print their name, and then date it. And you would upload it to the system. So I'm going to go ahead and attach a document there. Then the next thing I need to do, as I did before, I'm going to click save. We have to have a House support letter and a Senate support letter. So you need to approach your senator and your representative and explain to them what your proposed project is and request that they give you a letter of support. You could send them a project description and a cost estimate so they know what you're doing and how much the costs are. Any commitments, if you're going to be making commitments of other funds so that they're aware of the whole project, and then ask them to send you a letter of support. In the past, those letters were sent to our office. Sometimes they were sent to you all. They were always supposed to be a part of the application. So now you have to attach those applications in the portal. So when you request the applications from the legislators, I suggest you ask them to email you the document. And it's in your email, it's already on your computer. You can just grab it and upload it into the portal here. So I'm going to attach documents there. I'm going to go ahead and attach this one here. And I'm going to click save. So now you can see for every one of them, I have the choices of viewing, removing, or changing if I need to make some edits onto my document. So next you have a supporting documentation section. If you feel like there is additional information or documentation that we need to see in order to review your application, then you would attach that document here by following the same procedure, and you would enter a description of the document so that we know what it is. If you need to attach more than one, you can click this add additional supporting documentation, and it will add an additional line. If you attach the document and feel that, oh, I don't really need to have that there, you can click this checkbox and then click save, and that document will go away. Finally, you can enter any comments that you feel like are important for the review. And then you would click save. I suggest that you click save on everything that you've done. Go back through and make sure that you have everything you needed to have into the online portal. And then finally, you're going to click save and submit. Says my resolution must be uploaded. So you remember we removed that document earlier. So as you can see, if you don't have all of those documents attached, it will not let you submit the application for review. I'm going to go back and attach a document. And save it. I can see that it's there. For some reason, I'm having a difficulty with it keeping my document there. So if this happens whenever you're working through your portal, if you have an error, you can always email me or call me, and we can work with our OT department to correct any errors that you're having. As you know, technology sometimes can be kind of funny. I would suggest that you not wait until June 3rd, which is a Friday, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to complete my application. I would do it before then. Let me go through and do it on the other one and see if it will save it on this one. It says my things are saved. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So, as I said, if you have any difficulties, well, it gave me an error, but it's telling me that it's submitted for review. So this will show you your application. It tells you the status is submitted for review. And when I go back and look at it now, it tells me my application is submitted for review. So as long as you have that as your status, you know that we have that application to review in office. And again, you need to make sure that you have submitted for review by June 3rd. The system does close at midnight. But again, we're not going to be in the office working after 4 p.m. that day. So I would highly suggest that you all get it done prior to that date. Remember that you have to have those documents attached for it to submit. And if you have any questions, we can address them now. If you have any questions, you can enter them in the Q&A. Heather, you want to read the questions?
Yeah, somebody's asking about, can we send a link to the portal? So I'm about to post it.
Okay. If you have not received your user ID from our office and you have submitted the user access request form, please reach out to me. I know I have maybe 2 or 3 in office to use right now, or to issue right now. But as far as I know, I don't have any sitting and waiting. I do have several that were submitted that I emailed back for revisions. So if you have submitted it to me already and I have not issued your user ID, you may want to check with me to see if I'm waiting for revisions on the user form.
Tracy, I have some other questions.
Okay.
Can we do one resolution for CWEF and LGAP listed together in the resolution name, or do they need to be 2 separate resolutions?
If you identify both programs and both projects in one resolution, it's fine. You would need to upload that into both sides and both applications. But you need to make sure that you specifically mention the LGAP program and the project and the amount, and then the CWEF program and the project and the amount, so that we can easily see that the local government is supporting both applications. And remember, you have to submit it in the LGAP application as well as the CWEF application. Make sure that your resolutions are signed, as you should with your town clerks or something, that all of those forms are not left blank.
Next question is, how do we access the assurances form?
So let's go back to that. We'll go into this one. If you go down in the application, you'll see where it says local government assurances, and there's a download button here. It's your blue button. And when you put your cursor over it, it comes up as a little hand. You can click on that, and it should open up that document. So you would print this document out and fill it out, and then you need to scan it and upload it back into the portal completed.
Somebody said they've had a lot of problems with logins.
Okay, if you're having problems with login, again, email me at tracy.watts@la.gov and tell me what the problem is. If it is your password is locked, then you need to email me and ask me to get your password unlocked. If you've tried to use the Wolf password maintenance link to reset your password or to change your password, and you're having difficulty with your security questions that you have set up, you can also request that we can wipe the security questions and clear them out, and then you can start back over. When you go in, you'll set up a password again. If you're getting some type of error, when you email me, if you screenshot me what you're getting, then that will help our technology office to know what the problem is. So we forward messages to the technology office and ask them to correct the issue, and then we will notify you of when it is resolved. Usually it happens pretty quickly, but we must receive an email. If you call me and tell me that you're having difficulty, I'm going to ask that you email me because I have to have a written notice to send to our technology office.
Tracy, next, how long before the grant writer receives their login information? Will it go to them about the same time as the administrator?
Yes, so we have to put in a function in the portal for consultants. That has been done. So consultants that sent in a request should have already received their user ID. Again, if you have sent me a user access request form and you have not received your user ID, please email me to check on that. It could be that I have the form, but there needs to be a revision or we have an issue. I just want to make sure that we haven't missed any. So if you haven't received your user ID, please email me and let me know so that we can make sure we can get that done.
So the government assurances form needs to be uploaded to both applications, right?
Correct. All of those documents have to be on both applications. Remember, these are two separate programs, two separate applications. Sometimes they do have some similarities and some of the forms may be common, but you do have to have all components on each application.
That's all I have, right? Oh, can the engineer submit an application for the town?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, in the system, you should be able to be click. If you have any problems doing save and submit as a consultant, let me know. Again, this is a new system with new functionality, so if we have any issue, we want to make sure we get them straightened out early on. But the local governing body or the chief elected official of the local governing body signed to give you permission, and there was a statement on that form that said you were able to submit for them. So we are going to allow that.
We can ask for 13% for engineering, correct?
You can ask for 10% for basic services and 3% for inspection, for a total of 13% for engineering services.
That's all I have right now. Should the House and Senate support letters address each grant separately? Or can they combine to the same letter like the resolution?
I would have them do separate letters because it's two separate programs.
Someone asked if LGAP and CWEF require NEPA clearance.
No, these are state-funded programs. So these funds specifically would not require you to complete a NEPA review. For those that don't know what that is, that's the National Environmental Protection Act that many federal or all federal funds, unless it's exempted, projects are required. If you are using your LGAP or your CWEF funds in conjunction with federal funds, then when you use federal funds, you must clear the entire project for NEPA. So I would say if you have federal funds in your project, you're probably going to have to do a NEPA review, but that's going to be dependent upon the federal funds. LGAP and CWEF do not require NEPA review.
Someone said, last year we applied for the max of $35,000 for each program and got $9,408 for LGAP and $18,000 for CWEF. Can I use the same project this year as last year's CWEF, as we still need to get our water tank lined and it costs around $110,000?
Yes, we do allow you to combine projects, combine funds from two different funding years for a project, as long as you don't have a duplication of benefit, meaning you're not using both grants to pay the same cost. So if you had a $50,000 project and you got $10,000 in two funding years each, that would not be a duplication of benefit, because putting those two projects together would only be $20,000 and your project is $50,000. I would just caution you to remember that you can only have two open funding years at a time. So if you're holding one and then you get your second award, you need to make sure that you move on the projects then, because if you get to the next fiscal year applications and awards, we would not be able to award you any additional funds until one of those previous years has been closed out.
Should a municipality in town status always request $35,000, even though we have received less the last 2 years?
You are eligible to apply for up to your limit. So with villages, that is $25,000. With towns, that's $35,000. Cities, that is $50,000. And parishes, that is up to $100,000. It depends on your project and what you're requesting. The amount of funds that are distributed to you are dependent on various things. One, it depends on what the parish allocation amount is and how many applications we receive. Once we get all the applications, we pool them together by parish and we see what the total requested amount is for that parish. Then we will go to the legislators for that area and we will ask them to make a recommendation as to how those funds should be distributed for that parish. And then that's how we recommend the awards to the governor's office for signature.
Where can we see where the parish allocations are listed?
So on the front page here, on the home screen, this year actually, both programs have the same per parish allocation. So per parish allocation amount for 21-22 application is $150,000. And then here under CWEF, per parish allocation amount for 21-22 application is $150,000. So if we receive 10 applications from a parish, then the total of what we can award for those 10 applications is $150,000.
That's all for right now, Tracy. Okay.
Well, I hope our demonstration today has been helpful to you all in the question and answer period. We have recorded this session and we will be placing it on our YouTube channel. It will be linked from the website so that you can go back and review it at a later date if you need to look at it or you have any further questions. Again, we are available whenever you need to reach out. You can email me at, I'll give you my email address again. It's Tracy, TRACI.Watts, WATTS @la.gov. You can call me at 225-342-0148. We have staff that can help you as well. You hear Heather Paul, who is our assistant director, today on the webinar. And we also have Janice Walker and Wendy Vessel that can assist you. They work with both programs as well. We did a previous webinar when we first opened the portal, and in that presentation, there is a table that shows all the parishes and how they are distributed amongst Janice and Wendy for administration. So you can go back and look at the table and see who your contact is if you're not sure who your contact is, and then reach out to Janice and Wendy. Our office number, if you want to reach someone else besides me, you can call the main number, which is 225-342-7412. So if we don't have any further questions, has any more been posted, Heather?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Again, if you have any issues, reach out, and we hope you have a good week. Thank you.